at 8:30.
I've been here over 20 years. I've been through Katrina. You have to take these things seriously.
Tracking Tropical Storm Karen. It's weakening, but still a cause for concern. This morning, we have team coverage from the Weather Center to the Gulf Coast. Plus, right now, Jackson police are working to piece together clues in an early morning shooting. 16 WAPT News continues.
The one to watch. This is 16 WAPT News at 8.
This morning, Tropical Storm Karen is still churning in the Gulf. This is a live look from Biloxi this morning. The storm is expected to make landfall today. Let's get straight over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Adam McWilliams has the latest on Karen's path.
All right, good morning, Andrew. Yes, Tropical Storm Karen is a weak tropical storm. Winds right now are 40 miles per hour, and the storm is really struggling to maintain organization. Now, the center of Karen is where that tropical storm icon is. Notice how all the clouds are well away from the center. Now, for a healthy tropical system, you want those thunderstorms right around the center. So as long as the center is exposed, Karen will remain a very weak tropical storm. Moving to the north right now at about 10 miles per hour. Now, we're expecting the storm to make a northeast turn across southeast Louisiana and the Mississippi and Alabama coast late tonight into early tomorrow morning. A lot of heavy rain expected. You can see all the thunderstorms blossoming, and that will be producing the heavy rain as it comes on shore late tonight into tomorrow. Now, here is the forecasted track of Karen. We expect the northeast turn today, making landfall in lower Plaquemines Parish near Venice and Burris, Louisiana, sometime late tonight. And we're expecting it to go across the Mississippi Sound and make a second landfall probably somewhere near Gulf Shores, Alabama, and then move across northwest Florida into South Alabama as a tropical depression by tomorrow. And you can see Karen down there just about 120 miles off the coast of Louisiana. Coming up, I'll have a full forecast on Karen and how it will affect our weather for the weekend.
Adam, thank you so much. Right now, folks along the Gulf Coast are preparing for what the storm might bring. Right now, 16 WAPT's Tammy Aswick is live in Biloxi. She begins our team coverage with what's going on there now.
Andrew, I'm sure you're familiar with the Gulf Coast and this area right here in Biloxi. So that loud horn that you hear, that's actually a train very close to us right now. But meanwhile, people are still bracing for whatever this tropical storm system will bring to this area. However, they're still treating this like a normal day at the beach. Take a look. You've got the birds out and people walking out on the beach. And even the guy that runs the jet ski rentals out here has put out his jet skis once again for a normal day at the beach. Now, people have prepared. We talked to some people in the parking lot overnight, and they said that they spent all night making sure they were gassed up and making sure that they had at least one bag packed so they could flee at the last second if they needed to. But they're feeling like this morning it's a little bit less of a risk. We're still waiting to see what this storm will bring to this area this morning. Now, cruising on the coast, one of the biggest antique car shows for this area. It's a huge economic boost. Well, they say they will go on rain or shine. Right now, it's looking picture perfect out here, so we're hoping for them that the weather holds up and is beautiful. For now, I'm Tammy Eswick in Biloxi for 16 WAPT News. Back to you, Andrew.
All right, Tammy, thank you so much. And Pascagoula could be one of the hardest hit areas along the coast. They're expecting a storm surge of 2 to 5 feet. There are no evacuations in place as the storm weakens, but officials are still warning people to have an emergency plan in place. And that is where we find 16 WAPT's Travis Mackle with the preparations that are being made in Jackson County.
We're here on the beach in Jackson County, Pascagoula, where just about 2 days ago they thought this would be an area that would be heavily affected by Tropical Storm Karen. It doesn't look that way anymore. Most people are out here taking their morning walks or bike rides, and they told us they definitely feel like they dodged a bullet. We all know that people living here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast are seasoned when it comes to dealing with tropical storms and hurricanes. Obviously, the state still under a state of emergency, but like I said, they thought this area could be heavily affected with storm surge and heavy winds. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case anymore, as most people that keep coming out here to fish and participate in morning activities on the beach seem pretty happy that it looks like this storm is going to be nothing more than a rain event for the Mississippi Gulf Coast, especially this area. I should also point out, in neighboring Alabama, they have a big event going on this weekend, Bayfest, a big outdoor music contest or concert. R. Kelly as well as the Zac Brown Band are playing. All of those events are still on. They haven't rescheduled anything. Most people in Alabama that we talk to feel like they're still under a state of emergency, but they definitely dodged a bullet as well. Reporting for 16 WAPT News, I'm Travers Mackel in Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Now we go west, closer to the Louisiana state line to Pass Christian. That is where news that the storm has lost some of the steam hasn't stopped some boat owners from taking proper precautions. Friday, boat owners were told their vessels could stay, but at their own risk.
20 years I've been through Katrina. You have to take these things seriously.
Now, city officials say there is a 7-foot maximum on the tidal surge. Anything above that, an evacuation order will be ordered. Now, one of the first places Karen is expected to make landfall is Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, just south of New Orleans. Now, part of the parish is under mandatory evacuation orders. They're using a nearby auditorium as an emergency shelter. That's where we find Blake Hansen from our sister station in Louisiana.
Good morning. We've had just a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind out here in Belle Chase, Louisiana, but nothing too bad. We're right outside of the Belle Chase Auditorium, and that is a shelter right now for Plaquemines Parish residents. I will show you behind me as well. Parish officials tell me that there are 83 people who came to this shelter overnight. They actually opened up a school next door as well, so they have a little bit of extra space for them. Right now, there is a mandatory evacuation for the entire east bank of Plaquemines Parish. There is also a curfew out for them as well, so they want to make sure that no one is outside, so there's no risk of looters, and also so there's no one outside that might put themselves in danger, go over any sorts of waterways or anything of those sorts. There's also a voluntary evacuation for parts of the west bank of the parish too, the southern parts of the west bank. They are closely watching this today. Obviously, Karen has got a little bit weaker overnight, but they're not letting their guard down at this point. The evacuation orders remain in effect. They have the shelter that remains open for anyone that needs to come here. And a lot of the people here, though, that we have been talking to throughout the morning say they are hoping to get back soon. So we will have to wait and see throughout the day and watch the weather conditions, see what Karen decides to do. And that's what parish officials will be waiting on before they make any further decisions on whether or not to lift any sort of evacuation orders. In Belle Chase, I'm Blake Hansen, 16 WAPT News.
Now, right now is the time to get the 16 WAPT Hurricane app. You can track Karen and any other tropical storms or hurricanes that develop. Just go to the App Store and download it onto your iPhone or Android. 8:38 now to the government shutdown. The stalemate on Capitol Hill enters day 5. Both houses of Congress will be working in unusual weekend sessions. The Republican-controlled House is trying to fund specific parts of the government, while the Democratic-controlled Senate is arguing for an all-or-nothing move.
If Speaker Boehner will simply allow that vote to take place, we can end this shutdown. A whole bunch of families, not just here in Washington, but all across the country, will have the certainty that a paycheck will be coming.
This isn't some damn game. The American people don't want their government shut down, and neither do I. All we're asking for is to sit down and have a discussion.
Now, yesterday, President Obama and Vice President Biden stepped out for lunch at a sandwich shop about a block away from the White House that's now offering furloughed workers a discount on food. This morning, fears are growing that the shutdown could really impact the economic recovery. The resurging home buying market is one of the greatest risks. Buyers looking for a loan could be left high and dry for a while. That's because many lenders need government confirmation of tax return and Social Security information, and employees who handle those requests are now on leave. Over on WAPT.com, you can find our interactive guide to what's next, from the politics to the practical realities of what's happening with government services. 8:39. Let's swing back over to the Weather Center now, where Adam's standing by with an update on Tropical Storm Karen that's still brewing out there. And Adam, she's losing some strength, but still pretty dangerous.
Exactly. The main threat from Karen will be heavy rainfall. Here's what we're projecting for rainfall across the Gulf Coast. This area in blue right here is anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inches of rainfall. Now, you start getting into the purples and the lavender colors. That's rainfall totals of 3 to 4 inches. And some areas could even see higher amounts of up to 5 to 6 inches of rainfall as this storm makes landfall late tonight and early tomorrow. You can see a tropical depression, this little L symbol right here over South Alabama. That is what we're expecting Karen to be tomorrow as it makes landfall into South Alabama. Here in the Jackson area, we're going to have a cold front come through. That's also going to help take Karen out towards the east, and we're expecting rainfall totals probably around a quarter to half an inch of rainfall. And here is the latest track on Karen, what we're expecting. Here are the current tropical storm watches for the entire Mississippi Gulf Coast and southeast Louisiana. And here is that track. We're expecting it to come across southeast Louisiana and South Alabama during the day tomorrow.
Thanks so much. Two-day job fair begins today at the outlets of Mississippi. It's opening next month in Pearl. The job fair will feature more than 60 tenants. And this week, a company that helps people prepare for interviews gave some potential employees tips. The job fair runs today and tomorrow at the Clyde Muse Center on the Rankin campus of Hines Community College. The grand opening for the outlets is set for November 14th. A casting call for the new James Brown movie is today in Jackson. It's at the Central High School Auditorium from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. and then again from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. Directors are looking for African-American musicians ages 20 to 35 and twin boys between the ages of 5 and 8. Now, we've learned Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer and Viola Davis will appear in the movie. They both appeared in Help, which was also filmed right here in Mississippi. As we hit the break, let's give you another live look at the coast this morning. Our residents are bracing for Tropical Storm Karen as she closes in. Adam is tracking her path next and ask the manager. So it's 8:42. Stay with us.